Hello. Yeah. So I made sure all like Bluetooth interactivity with my computer is turned off. It might be something else that was causing problems last time. We'll just have to see. You do not know how to handle a knife, nor how to peel a vegetable. 1 second. And you cut yourself more than once. You bled into the soup on several occasions, but never once did you throw this sullied soup out. Oh shit. That's unsanitary. But that's the kind of house we live in here. The gravedigger lives a humble existence, and she cannot afford to waste her precious ingredients. Your soups, during your stay, have all been seasoned with the slightest hint of iron. One moment. I had to straighten up my chair. Today's soup, however, is a marked step above all the rest. I had a funny idea. No one's here to share it with, right? So I won't share it. You did not cut yourself with a knife even once. Maybe your companion's compliments are not empty fluff. Maybe you really are improving. This soup should be ready to serve. I have some bread too. Oh my fucking god. Hello Azalea, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I fucking did with this voiceover here. This soup should be ready to serve. I have some bread too, that we can eat it with. But oh, I should brew some tea too, let me. I'm pretty okay. Ah yes, the tea. You knew that you were forgetting something. You were so focused on the soup, it must have slipped your minds. Your face flushes, yet again at this oversight, and shyly you offer to correct it. The gravedigger, however, waves your request aside. No, it's all right. You made the dinner, so I'll brew the tea. It's only fair. It won't take all that long. Would you mind serving up some soup while I'm busy? Of course you would not mind. You do enjoy making yourself useful. For a lady, you are awfully domestic. You work alongside the gravedigger to finish your nightly meal, and together you serve it, soup and bread, alongside 2 cups of piping hot tea, prepared by your hostess's own 2 hands. You sit together at the table, then partake in this simple fare after saying grace. The soup really is quite good, despite it being made from only the most commonplace of ingredients. There is a bit of a kick to it, and it warms you from the inside out. The tea, meanwhile, is very soothing. So much so, it makes you feel rather sleepy. You would like to sit with the gravedigger for a little while longer and tell stories, as you have sometimes in the past. That, or play cards. The nights are long, and there's no better way to pass them than spending time with her. Games of Old Maid, alas, will have to wait. You are too tired for it. You do not know what has happened, but after consuming your victuals, you feel utterly fatigued. Uh-oh. You explain your predicaments to the gravedigger. Your viddies? You explain your predicaments to the gravedigger between your yawns, and she nods in response. That's all right. You don't need to stay up with me. Not if you ain't up to it. You should head off to bed and rest that pretty head of yours. Viddies, that's how you say it. Noted. It's very British. Naturally. You do not think you are particularly pretty, but you presume that the gravedigger is just regurgitating a phrase to you. She does not truly mean it. How could she? She's far prettier than you are. You thank the gravedigger for her understanding, then rise from the table. You retreat to the spare bedroom on trembling legs, then change out of your clothes. I live with the door slammers. I'm so sorry if that got through. It's mostly my nephew, though. He makes a point to slam every door because, I don't know, he likes making loud sounds. He's 5. You have only just slid into your nightgown when you hear the rapping of knuckles upon your door, light and unobtrusive. This rapping could, of course, belong to but one person. It is the gravedigger, come to check up on you. I'm sorry, the gravedigger says, her voice soft. But you rushed to your room so soon after eating, I couldn't help but worry about you. Would you mind if I took a look at you? I just want to see if you're all right. The gravedigger is trying to keep her voice steady, but you can hear it wavering regardless. She really does sound concerned, so much so, she could very well be on the brink of tears. Oh shit, oh fuck. You do not want her to cry for you. You would feel horribly guilty if you upset her, even inadvertently, given all that she has done for you. You bid the gravedigger entry into your room. Therefore, without further delay, an invitation she hastens to take. The door swings inward with a creak, and there your hostess stands, still attired in black, her clothes a stark contrast to your pure white, well, off-white nightgown. The gravedigger looks at you, seated in bed with your hair freed from your usual braids, and exhales. Is that relief, you wonder? Playing about her face? Don't worry about those those weird readings that I do sometimes. I'll like read one clause at a time and get a bit confused. But why? What was she expecting to see exactly before entering your bedchamber? Thank you for letting me in, the gravedigger says, toying with her fingers. How do you feel? Not too terrible, you reassure her. There are no particular problems with your health. You just feel tired. Are you sure you're not sick? Your face does look a bit pale. That would be nothing out of the norm. You are always pale. True. Real vampire hours up in here. Now, is there anything I can do for you? Would you like something warm to drink? Or maybe a hot brick to place in your bed? It should keep you warm. You appreciate your hostess' thoughtful... Bleh. Hot brick. Hot brick. You appreciate your hostess' thoughtfulness, but you reassure her that it won't be necessary. That this won't be necessary. I'm so sorry about the sounds in my house. It would be dangerous for me to get proper soundproofing. So I just have like all these filters for the noise. They aren't quite enough a lot of the time. But yeah. Let me drink some of my coffee that I have with me. Do you think we're getting plagued? Holy shit, I forgot about the plague. That's a very real possibility, holy shit. I am a little unusual. yeah, it's been a little bit since I played this, okay? I'm a little unusually tired right now. Quite so, in fact. Wakes up with the plague. It's so real, too. You'll be fine. I hope so. I thought that about my father, too, before he... The gravedigger begins, but her voice soon trails off. She does not finish that thought. She does not need to. You know now what she was thinking of before she entered your bedroom. Cold, clammy skin. A sweating brow. Rank, oozing pustules. You think upon these symptoms, which are eerily similar to those recounted during the Great Plague which once beset your own country, and you shudder. If you don't want anything, I'll be on my way, the gravedigger says, but before that... Before that? This was just a fancy on my part, but I was wondering, would you mind if I brushed your hair for a little while? Your hair? That's right. It's such a pretty shade of red, is all. I just thought, Well, it's just a fancy, really. You don't have to let me, not if you don't want to. But I thought it might help you relax if you're feeling under the weather. I've heard it's supposed to be soothing. It is soothing, holy shit. Someone else brushing your hair. Especially someone who cares about you. That is what the gravedigger says, but you have the distinct feeling that she is the one looking for solace here. She's not quite so selfless, perhaps, as she would like to think. But she has been so very good to you, and has done so very much for you, that you do not want to begrudge her this small self-indulgence. You rather think she deserves it. You agree, therefore, to her request, and upon doing so, you are certain you have made the right choice. Your hostess's face lights up immediately, in a manner which makes you blush. Oh, thank you. It'd be my honor. Now, let me fetch my brush. The gravedigger retreats from your room in a hurry, but returns soon thereafter, holding in her right hand the promised brush. This artifact acquired, the gravedigger then settles herself upon your bed by your side. She looks at your hair for a few moments, her expression pensive. Then she announces that she'll begin. The gravedigger leans in. The wooden frame of the bed creaks under her weight, a creak which melds with the sighing of the breeze outdoors. You can feel the bristles of the brush running through your hair. It is soothing enough, so much so, it makes you shiver. The sensation is a pleasant one, and somewhat nostalgic. Did your mother do this for you, you wonder, when you were a little girl? Hey, remember that girl what ate us? I'm pretty sure she brushed our hair too. Hee. If she did, it must have been when you were a very little girl. I want someone to brush my hair. That is so real. It's been a while since I was in the presence of my girlfriends. Quite a while. Well, yeah. Oh yes, it has been quite a long-lasting, long-distance relationship. There's been hiccups, mostly due to me being weird. Like, we're both autistic, okay, but my disability doesn't help matters. But she came to see me one time, like right before the pandemic. Fortunately, she didn't get stuck here. But yeah, the last time we met was before the pandemic. Funnily enough, it was also the first time. I listen. I know I'm doing relationship wrong, but this is the only one I've had and the only one I intend to have in, like, of this nature. You have not seen your mother in quite some time. Not after you enrolled at the conservatoire. Yeah. Oh, you have such lovely hair, dear one. It's soft, just like silk. Not at all like mine. Mine's so coarse. That's another thing, dear one, that I'm pretty sure that is another thing that we have been called. I'm pretty sure we've been called dear one by the one who ate us previously. It might be foreshadowing. I don't know, it's just a thing that is in common. As far as I'm aware. This gentle voice draws you out of your vague, half-formed reminiscence. Your vague, half-formed reminiscences. It sounds as though the gravedigger is lost in nostalgia of her own, because her voice, when next she speaks, is dreamy. I think my mother used to brush my hair like this. For me, back when she was still alive. That must have been a long time ago, though. It is funny, you think, as the bristles of the brush continue to slide through your tresses, that you and the gravedigger should both be reminiscing in tandem about your respective mothers. Perhaps there is something maternal in the act of brushing one's hair, which is wont to summoning forth such images. Hello, Yagi. Thank you so much for joining me. I would not know personally. Alright, I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. I cannot remember my own mother at all. Yeah, I believe so. I believe I am doing well. Like, I thought I was catching another upper respiratory illness that was going around the house. But I didn't get, like, the initial symptoms I thought I had didn't get any worse. In fact, they got better. So maybe I've dodged a bullet. Maybe I've dodged another visit to the hospital. Chronic illness sucks. I don't think I like having my hair brushed very much. The gravedigger continues, her breath warm against the exposed nape of your neck. My mother used to complain that I squirmed too much. I can remember that. She always told me to sit still, though it wasn't my fault I squirmed. She used too much force. When I was a kid and I went to school, my mother used to brush my hair, like, entirely slicked back. That's so different from how I brush it now. Now this is curious. If I try to brush my hair, it just gets stuck. Oh no. You've got strong hair, okay. Or very tangled. Maybe both. Curly hair. Oh, I see. I had to buy a new detangling comb because I broke mine. Oh no. Very long, thick, curly hair. Nice. My hair has also broke necklaces. What powerful hair my friends in chat have. Let's fucking go. It sounds as though the reminiscences of the gravedigger are not particularly fond at all. Did she not get along well with her mother? I can't rightly say. Then Gravedigger replies, in a somber sort of voice. I was young, like I said, when she died. I really don't remember her too well. You can't use shampoo too much or it gets harder. The shampoo only makes it stronger. But I don't think she ever had much time for me. She was too busy with all the cooking and cleaning. Oh, and looking after my baby brothers. But she had time enough, despite that, to brush your hair. She did what she felt she had to do, to make me look presentable. Not that it really worked. Aw. I wasn't like the other girls in the village, you see, who liked to sit indoors with their mothers and sew. I'd always loved the outdoors. My father said I inherited that from him. Ruefully, the gravedigger smiled. Not that you can see it with your back facing her. My mother said I wasn't very, well, maidenly. She didn't like that I always traipsed around outside after my father, watching him as he dug graves. She said it wasn't appropriate, like I was some sort of a princess wearing a fine dress. The gravedigger snorts. I used to get a bit muddy, yes, and maybe I did get burrs in my clothes and knots in my hair, but it shouldn't have mattered. It's not like I ever had any hopes of marrying a prince, no matter what my mother said. But still, she hoped. She had a lot of hopes, my mother. High hopes. I think she might have resented my father, maybe, for working such a menial job. Our profession is an honest one, but it's never made much money. I think my mother was hoping for fine jewels and dresses and... Oh, I don't know. She always had ideas. Her head was full of fairy tales. It was a shame, I suppose, that her reality didn't match up to what she wanted. I didn't match up to what she wanted. The bitterness in your friend's voice is unmistakable. So much so, you want to console her. What would you say to her, though? You never met your companion's mother. You never will, either. Her cold, inert body has been lying in the graveyard, buried beneath a tombstone for over a decade. You have no way of ascertaining whether your companion's mother truly cared for her. You do have intelligence enough, however, to understand that poorly thought out condolences can cause more harm than good. Hey bro, sorry your mom died. You would not like it if people tried to reassure you that, of course, your father loved you really. If he loved you, then why did he send you away from home? Why did he never send you any letters? You know he was worried about his finances, but that seems a poor excuse to pretend that his only daughter did not exist. As for your own mother, meanwhile, she was nice, at least you think she was, but she was woefully ineffectual. Though she was nominally an adult, she always cleaved before your father's judgment. You think that she was afraid of him. You do not try to tell the gravedigger, therefore, that her mother loved her, that she must have done, else she should not have given birth to her, would not have given birth to her. Instead, you sit there, letting the brush run through your hair, and you say quietly that you understand. Sometimes you feel like a disappointment yourself. Well, the gravedigger says, after a pause, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I guess it happens to all of us. You guess so. Parents are only people after all. While one would hope one's parents would be kind and attentive, they, too, can fall victim to caprices of their own. Just because one has brought a child into this world, it does not mean one will be able to take care of it properly. Not all parents are responsible, just as not all people are responsible. It is a painful subject. Oh well, it's all right if my mother never liked me, or even if she never loved me. I know my father did, and that's all that matters. He was always there for me, no matter what. Your companion's voice catches in her throat. She winces. At least until he wasn't. He died. And I didn't do anything to help him. Your companion's shoulders are beginning to shake. There is quite a bit of noise going on at my residence. My nephew is a little demon. And it's his bedtime. It's like an hour 30 past his bedtime, in fact. But yeah, maybe we can drown it out. You still cannot see her, but you can feel her body convulsing. You can sense her loneliness rolling off her in waves. It is all-consuming, like the waters of a deep, dark ocean. Grief anew pierces your heart, not on your behalf, but for the sake of your benefactress. She does not deserve to suffer so much. This, you have no qualms with telling her. Oh my fucking god. You turn to face her and pluck the brush, which has been hovering in the air, inert from her fingers. Then you let her know that her father's death was not her fault. What could she have done? She could not have cured his illness. I know, but I can't help but think, what if? If I keep racking my head over and over, trying to come up with something. But I can't think of anything. And even if I could, it's too late. He's already dead. He's dead and buried. I buried him, and now I'm all alone. She might have been alone, you tell the gravedigger, but she isn't now, not anymore. How can she be with you when you are here? I know that. I know, and I'm grateful, but I don't know if I deserve it. Why would she not deserve your company? You do not understand. Because I couldn't do nothing for nobody. My father always looked out for me when I was a little girl, but when he needed me the most, I failed him. I failed everyone. All the villagers, all my friends, all died. What would I do if the same thing happened to you? I don't think I could bear it. I don't want you getting sick too, not when I care about you so much. Thought I'd gotten used to being on my own, but now that you're here, it's making me worry all over again. I've been worrying so much I can't sleep from it. I'm scared. I'm sorry my accent is very affected. Like, I grew up in Texas, and I feel like she should sound like something like that going from earlier descriptions. However, I never received much of an accent. Yeah. My household was not I mean like I've been all over the US, all over the southern US, due to being a military brat. So I never developed a genuine accent from anywhere I lived. Not gonna stop me trying. Your companion's voice catches in her throat. Yeah, I noticed. Neither of us sounds like stereotypes. Awesome. Then she collapses in on herself. She leans forward, her arms wound about her middle, as if to steady herself, and she cries. She cries and she cries and she cries. For a few moments, you look at the gravedigger, unsure of what to do. Her pale face, streaked with silvery tears, seems to flicker in the candlelight. Her shoulders, which seem too slender to bear the cumulative weight of all the sorrows she has endured, are shaking. Your fatigue continues to cling to you, as insistent as the fog which rolls amongst the tombstones in the graveyard at night. You are not so very tired, however, You cannot offer your hostess some comfort. Now we both have the plague. Let's go. You do not know what you can say to console her. You feel too weird to think of pretty sophisms. But there is something you can think of. You would not typically be so bold, of course, but you are tired enough for once to throw caution to the winds. That and the tears of the gravedigger are awfully arresting. You open your arms and, before the gravedigger can pass comment, you pull her to your chest. Now we both have the plague. Let's fucking go. It's so very sweet, just like the other story was, until it wasn't. Alright, I'm gonna drink. Have a sip. I really shouldn't announce it every time I do, though. Posture check. Thank you, Yagi, for redeeming posture check / stretch. I'm having a stretch. I believe I am not currently in a shrimp posture, so that's good after the stretch. Oh! A soft exclamation escapes the lips of the gravedigger, quieter than the sound of wintry snow as it brushes the ground. Then there is nothing. The gravedigger is stiff in your arms for a few moments, like the corpse she and her father used to seal away, like the corpses she and her father used to seal away inside their wooden coffins. Take a breath. If I misread something, I sometimes will just like go over and keep going without taking a breath. It's a bad habit for what I do for fun, for my mainstream content. She is all wide eyes and awkward, pointed elbows, tears still coursing down her pale cheeks. You worry briefly as you hold her that you have perhaps made a mistake. Were your attempts at consoling her too clumsy? You would not know. You have never been in a situation like this before. You have never consoled any friends before, because you have never had any friends to console. It is not so now, however. You are as far away from your old life as it is possible to be, and the gravedigger does not curse you for your impudence. Neither does she try to squirm away from you. Instead, she sits there still as a statue cradled in your arms. Oh, I'm very sorry to show you something so embarrassing. It's just, I get so lonely sometimes. I'm in and out of listening because I'm doing mixed prep for tomorrow. Apologies. Oh, no worries. I'm so happy to have you here, even if you're not chatting or listening. Yeah. Oh, and there's that line again. Well, not exactly as the title, but yeah. Almost a title drop. Partial title drop. Until, at long last, with a breathy sob, she lets the full weight of her body fall against yours. You run your hands against your sobbing companion's shoulder, blades end her back, and gently you soothe her. You tell her that she does not need to apologize. There is no shame in crying. You hug her for many, many minutes while she sobs against your chest, wetting the front of your nightgown. No further words pass between you that night, but they do not need to. Words are irrelevant in a moment as tender as this, shared between two souls who have come to understand one another through mutual loneliness. You slide beneath your sheets. You still feel exhausted, and the gravedigger joins you without asking for permission. I fumbled that. Enunciation is hard. It would be an unnecessary... Sorry? It would be an unnecessary piece of politeness, really, given your acceptance is all but assured. You have already accepted the gravedigger after all. Every single inch of her. Every single inch. Hello, Lady Katharina. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, my mind is absolutely in the gutter. As say-so as I am, that happens. You have accepted her hospitality. You have accepted her food. Now you are accepting her company. You arrange yourself beneath the sheets, then draw her body to yours. I mean, they're just sharing a bed, okay? The gravedigger has not yet changed into her nightwear. Her clothes will be horribly rumpled when she awakens come the following morning, her head resting against your chest. Oh yeah. Okay, it's a little spicy. But tomorrow has ceased to matter. It no longer exists. There is no concept of time between the two of you, no thought of the day which will dawn once this night inevitably ends. Cuddles are so important. Holy shit. Like it's not just men. Instead, there is only warmth shared between you and the wetness on the cheeks of the gravedigger. Look, I little spin a lot. Let's fucking go. There's the sound, irregular now and less intense than before, of your companion's muted, muffled sobs. There's this gentle, tender moment snatched in the midst of a deep, dark night which can never be replaced. Your eyelids feel heavy, as though weighted down with stones. They droop inexorably downwards, pulling you like a drowning maiden into the dark, impenetrable abyss of slumber. You yawn. Then you fall asleep, cozied up beside the gravedigger like two cats in a basket. You sleep and you sleep and you sleep, more deeply than you have allowed yourself in quite some time. But when you awake, you find that you are no longer in the bed upon which you slept in, shrouded by sheets. The gravedigger, too, is nowhere to be seen. Instead, you are quite alone, lying by yourself in the dark. Welp. You blink, but your surroundings do not become any clearer. Is it the middle of the night? No, I'm pretty sure you got buried alive. Perhaps you were roused from your slumber by the desire to relieve yourself, or else to slake your thirst. Your sleep has been awfully disordered as of late, and the smallest of noises have been enough to disturb you. Heavy breathing. That does not sound quite right, though. You slept well. Of that you are certain. Your body feels invigorated, as though it has slumbered for hours and hours. How many hours? You do not know. You do not know much of anything. You can feel a strange pinching sensation around your chest, however, and around your arms. It would appear as though somebody, but who else could it have been save the gravedigger, changed your attire while you were sleeping? That is a startling thought, but the darkness which entombs you is even more so. The darkness which surrounds you is unsettlingly complete. It is so thick you cannot penetrate it. Bitch, you got buried alive. Your newfound woes do not stop, however, at this deep, unnatural darkness. It is cold, too, and you are lying upon something hard, some sort of a stone slab. What is going on? Eventually she'll like stop being half asleep and realize she's fucking buried alive. You reach out, but your movements are soon stymied. There's something heavy lying atop you, something that is limiting your movements. You were anxious before, upon awaking, but at this discovery, you feel downright aggrieved. A sharp prong of panic pierces you, but you try to suppress it. Hysterics will get you nowhere. In most cases, they only tends to make bad situations even worse. Was the last fate a surprise? It was somewhat unexpected, only because I forgot about the picture on the Steam store page. It was so sweet leading up to it, too. Which is kind of how this one turned out. In most cases, they only tends to make bad situations even worse. Yeah, because like if you're panicking You're losing oxygen faster, and you need oxygen to survive. Although, your oxygen resources are definitely limited if you're buried alive. You ought to know that already. You swallow your mounting dread as best you can, though it is coming on thick and fast, and try to squirm. You move your arms outwards, but they do not get very far. There is a wall above you, and walls on either side of you, walls which do not budge no matter how hard you push. Not, I must add, that you can push particularly hard, your anxious state notwithstanding. That feeling when Gravedigger GF. You have never had much in the way of upper body strength, nor lower body strength. You do not have much in the way of strength at all. You feel quite helpless as you lie there, out of breath from your meager exertions, unsure of what you should do. You can hardly see a foot in front of your face. You do not know where you are, nor why, but a terrible premonition is beginning to bear down upon you, one which initially you tried to discard. You did not want to accept it as a possibility, but where else could the truth lie? You are lying in a box, hemmed in by walls which offer only a scant few inches for you to stretch in any direction. Where else could you be but in a coffin? The moment you allow yourself to ponder this awful reality is the moment you hear it, the irregular sound of drumming. It is as though somebody, though they must be a very large somebody, is tapping their fingertips upon the lid of your coffin. That, or it is raining. It is not the fingers of a giantess, though, which is disturbing you, nor is it falling rain. The fingers of a giantess. Girl, you have some kinks. It is dirt. This sound continues on and on, as though it is drilling its way inside your skull. It is relentless. It is merciless. Like the ticking of a great celestial clock, it cannot be stopped. Your time is almost running out. But you knew that already, didn't you? When you were running through the forest? You ought to have known, silly thing, that you could not outpace your destiny forever. Sooner or later, it would catch up with you. You are stubborn, though, and you do not want to accept this. Not content to simply lie there, you cry out. You cry not for your parents, whom you hardly knew, nor for your school friends, for you never had any. Instead, you cry out for your new companion, the girl with whom you have been living, and with whom you shared one precious, cherished moment. You cry out for the gravedigger. Surely this is some manner of mistake. Once she realizes that you are, in fact, entombed in one of the coffins she is currently filling in, for who else would be moving the dirt above you, she will cease her operations at once. She will pull you out of the darkness, back into the world of the living, and then she will hold you close. She will embrace you. She cannot mean to cause you any harm, not when she was so good to you and so kind. Why would she bury you? You cry to her so loudly you fear your vocal cords might tear, all while banging against the roof of your compact prison. You cry desperately, helplessly, and to your relief, your cries do not fall upon deaf ears. The sound of the falling soil stops, albeit briefly. Then you hear a voice. The voice is very faint, given it's being filtered through your coffin's sturdy lid, but you recognize it. So you're awake then, are you, dear one? The gravedigger says. She sighs. Then she says, in a perplexed sort of voice, "Now that is a pickle. I was hoping you'd be asleep a couple hours more, so the last time we spoke could have been on better terms. If you keep screaming like that, I'm going to feel bad." Your companion's words, though distant, are unmistakable. You are so tense, you are attuned to every single syllable, and each of them makes you gasp. Oh no, the precious oxygen. Was this not a mistake then? Does she truly mean to bury you alive? Naturally. You posit this question to the gravedigger as best you can, trying to keep the tremors from your voice as you do. Perhaps you think, in your optimism, that if you do not let her know how afraid you are, she will reward you for your bravery and let you go. If this is what you are hoping, though, it is in vain. That's right, you really do catch on quick. So it appears she really has committed to the task of burying you. What an unfortunate turn of events. Why, though, would you do such a thing after you accepted all those inches? We are friends, the gravedigger says, her voice still worryingly offhand, worryingly empty. I'm very fond of you. There's nobody dearer to me than you. I've had a really good time with you these last, how long's it been again? I don't remember. Neither do you. Well, if this little detail has slipped both of your minds, it can't be all that important. You have other things to worry about. If you really are friends, say to the gravedigger, then what does she hope to gain by burying you? The narrator is pretty cruel too, indeed. Like I often look at the narrator as just her own internal monologue being fucking cruel to herself. Which, I mean, it works. You do not understand. But you understand her reply even less. Well, here's the thing, the gravedigger says, in a reasonable sort of voice, as though burying someone alive could ever be thought of as a reasonable action. I've been digging graves for a long time, see? You cannot see, it is too dark, but you affirm that you do all the same. Well, I was digging all these graves, but I've not had anybody to put them in. Put in them. Not for ages. It was rather sad. You think you know where this train of logic, twisted though it is, might be going, so you do not interrupt her. Yeah, you were just taking too long to die, dear one. of the plague, which he obviously had. You know no good would come of it. All you can do for the present is lie there and listen. I was thinking I'd never find another person to bury in this god-forsaken village, not after the plague messed everything up. I was getting desperate. Until you came along, that is. Now that I have somebody I can bury, I'm not gonna let the opportunity pass me by. I'm sorry, but this is just part of my job. It's what my father taught me to do. It's all I know how to do. Make friends, bury friends. Buried my mother and my father. I buried all my friends. Now I'm going to bury you too. It is sound logic, in a sense. As the daughter of a gravedigger, digging graves is her job, but something about it rankles you. If only you could put your finger on it. Ah, yes. There is a bit of a flaw with her reasoning, is there not? You are not dead after all. You might not... I feel a burp coming on, I'm sorry. You might not be dead now, the gravedigger says, in response to your ingenuity. But you will be if given enough time. I mean, everybody else I've ever known's died. Who's to say you wouldn't be next? It seems rather more likely that you will die, and quickly if she persists with her poorly thought out plan to bury you. Grave digging withdrawal symptoms. Your coffin is not very large. It affords you precious little space. Eventually, if trapped within it for long enough, you will run out of oxygen. Then you will suffocate. That, or you will starve to death. Either way, your demise will be a slow, painful one. You're unsure which death would be worse. Though given how precarious your situation is, you do not wish to expend the necessary energy needed to ponder it. You need to plead with the gravedigger, and quickly, while she is still here. You tell her, tearfully, that you would not leave her. Why would you? You try to sound as convincing as your disordered nerves will allow, but the gravedigger remains unmoved. You say that, she says, but how can I know you're telling the truth? I thought you said you were a traveler. I never stay put in one place for long. You'd get sick of me before long, then you'd leave me. Then you'd leave me. This way, at least I can be assured that we'll always stay together. You'll just be a few feet below me. If I bury you like I did the others, we'll never be far apart. I haven't took care to put you in a nice spot, close to my home. So's you're only a stone's throw away, really. Isn't that nice? Privately, you think that the gravedigger has a different conception of the word nice to you. You do not say this, however. You cannot say much of anything because the panic has begun to set in. It is choking you, stopping up your throat, so you can only cry. You scream. You beg and plead, but it does little good. The gravedigger has already buried her mother. She has already buried her little brothers. She has even buried her father, whom she loved above all else. She thinks, by burying you, she is doing unto you an act of great kindness. You think that she is going to kill you. In a sense, you are both right. Your opinions are so diametrically opposed on this matter, however, that you will never be able to find common grounds. You might as well save your screaming. She will not listen to you. She is beyond listening. Shush, shush, dear one, says the gravedigger very gently, just as gently as she spoke last night when she confided in you all of her fears. It won't be so bad, really. Nothing will be able to hurt you down there. It'll be just like going to sleep for a really, really long time. You can rest, and while you rest, I'll tend to you. I'll plant flowers on your grave. You'd like that, wouldn't you? This way we can be always together. And I'll never be lonely again. Has she tried being buried alive? You know, I bet she hasn't. It's one of those things you can only try once. And then once you try it, you can never, like... You can never bury anyone else alive. Unless they dig you out. I need to BRB. I didn't... I wanted to take a sip while I was on the BRB screen, but I did not. If I stay so hydrated all the time, no one's gonna redeem hydrate. Hydration. Self-hydration hurts my stream. No. I know this is part of the conceit of the whole story, having her tell you her reasoning like this. But you'd think she could do a little better and drug you properly. Yeah, where's the drugs? If she wants you to have a painless buried alive experience. No, you're gonna be fully conscious, and what's more, you'll be given a Game Boy with lighting, with like some form of lighting, and it'll have the buried alive like ROM hack loaded on a cartridge, and you'll be forced to play that until you die. While the gravedigger speaks, she begins to pile even more soil onto the roof of your coffin. Gotta go fast. The sound of dirt on top of you, on your arms, your legs, and your head, conceals your companion's final words. You cannot hear her. You cannot hear anything beyond the sounds of the dirt and the scrapings of the shovel and your own desperate, frantic screams. Oh yeah. Some oxygen still gets in until the dirt packs you in. You scream and you scream and you scream without cease until your throat feels hoarse. But your efforts are in vain. There are no lozenges down here. You hammer on the lid of the coffin with as much strength as you can muster, but the lid of the coffin is nailed shut. You are in no position to remove it. All you can do is lie there, screaming and crying, and banging your fists on the roof of the coffin over and over as more dirt and debris falls on top of you. Eventually, enough dirt falls on you to stifle your screams for good. The gravedigger can no longer hear you, and you can no longer hear her. You are all alone, trapped in a narrow wooden box which, regardless of what you want, is now your new home. You can smell the soil in the backs of your nostrils when you inhale. Ah, earthy. It is so potent, you can taste it on your tongue. You can taste the eventual inevitable decay of your own body. You will remain trapped here, underground, forever and ever. Or, to use less melodramatic terms, until the last of your energy escapes you and you succumb to your own slow suffocation. It isn't a very pleasant way to go. But you'll forgive me if my sympathy is limited. Gosh, sorry for wanting to make a friend. You did bring this upon yourself, you know. We made one choice. It's same as last time. I'll be back when this section is over. Fair, fair, fair. You reap what you sow, and in your case, you made a series of bad decisions which led to your untimely demise. Once again, just like the last time I died, I made one decision. If I make all of the bad decisions, whoops, that was an accident. If I make all of the bad decisions, maybe the game will make me, will allow me to see a good ending. The biggest weighted blanket, let's fucking go. But yeah, it was like this last time too on the previous route where we also died. You made a series of bad decisions. Like, I literally just chose which path to take, and I made no decisions from that point on. It's funny. But yeah, once I've made all 3 of the bad decisions we are allowed to make, maybe that we will be allowed to see a good ending. Or maybe, better yet, maybe we can make a good decision. Trigger warning? Yeah, like probably should have put a mature rated, mark this as mature rated or something. It didn't do it automatically and I was too lazy. Next time I will. Next time I'll put something. Now, what do you want to do? Will you accept this fate of yours and rest in peace, or will you try to fight against it? Oh gosh, oh geez, I wonder what I should do. I'm gonna click both. Damn, I guess I'm just buried alive now. Peace. Very well then, enjoy your eternal slumber. I suppose this is good night for now, but it is not goodbye. You cannot escape from me, even if you are buried deep within the earth. Where there is a will, there is a way. And even if the whole world has forsaken you, I never will. I will never leave you. Down in the Boneyard. You will never be lonely again. Yeah, that's the little achievement.